Hi, folks. Josh from Tough Call here. And look, I've been called biased both for and against both teams in this series. And when you have a high profile series like the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Florida Panthers, you're going to get that kind of reaction. I get it. The passion of the fan bases is what makes this kind of series so special. But for what I do, I have to take a step back. I have to take the name off the back of the jersey and I have to take the logo off the front and look at incidents for what they are and make a judgment based on what I want to see in the game and what I think the game could do without. So I'm going to look at a controversial hit and I'm just going to call them player in blue and player in white and just look at the situation. So both the player in blue and white see the puck shot across the neutral zone and they're both going to go after it. And the player in white's clearly going to win the race. The player in blue is clearly going to be the one putting the checking pressure on. Player white wants to put the puck back into the offensive zone, and as a right-handed shot, the only way to do that is on your backhand. His back has been to player blue the whole time. There's never been a time where he's been facing him or exposed, so he's not turning his back. He's just trying to make a play on the puck. And the best way to do that is to shoot the puck with your backhand, which is going to rotate your upper body to your right, and then try and move back left out of the way. The blue player, for his part, should have stick on ice, trying to block that dump in and come in at that angle of approach to block the player from advancing the puck, which is exactly what both players have done to this point. They're making predictable, logical, expected movements. So everything's going according to plan. Now, you could argue that it's possible that player white would want to do a regroup back pass on their forehand, but you have to expect as the forechecker that he's going to try and dump the puck in, and that either way, his back is always going to be the thing that's exposed to you. So a full-blown body check here is not an option. And in order to make that play properly, it should be known that the player in white is going to have to stop short enough of the boards to have enough room to put his stick in front of his body to make that motion with the backhand to dump the puck in. So it shouldn't come as any surprise when that player slows up suddenly in front of me because he has no choice if he wants to make that play on the puck. And people say he should protect himself more. Well, he does. He makes that play, and knowing he's going to possibly get hit, he has enough time to put his hands up against the glass and protect his face from hitting the glass. That is not a sign that he dove into it, put his hands up, and then faked it. It's that he's doing exactly what you want him to do. He's protecting himself. And look, the player in white could abandon the puck, could let the puck go on his feet, press himself against the glass, and take the hit. But what you're asking that player to do is abandon their right to make a hockey play on the puck. What you're saying is the player in blue has more of a right to hit that person than that player has who's clearly won the race to make a play on the puck and be rewarded for winning the race. You want player in blue to be able to slam that player any way he wants, and it's up to that player to protect himself at the cost of not making a play on the puck that he earned the right to do by winning that race. It makes no sense to me. But even at that, if you were player in blue right now and you saw what he sees right now, would you say, oh yeah, I can blast this guy however I want and it won't matter? He sees nothing but numbers the whole way. Now, he does try and angle himself to the side a little bit, but based on all we know about what player white is going to do, there's no way his back won't be exposed. And I'll give player blue credit. His left foot does dig into the ice and he slows himself up, and he does reduce the force of this check pretty well. But the fact that he even went through it at all is the problem here. And also add in the fact that player blue is on player white's right and is taking that angle of approach to go to the right and block that dump in motion. And then mid process, he changes his mind and veers drastically to his left to make sure he goes through the back. That's what that decision did, was it changed the angle of approach to go even more through the back than he would have had he just carried on the choice he already made. Now factor in the distance traveled and the time he had to make these kinds of decisions. The whole thing just adds up to complete avoidability on the part of player blue. As for player white, like I said, he does everything you'd expect as a right-handed shot. He dumps the puck in on his backhand, which rotates his torso to the right, but he veers to his left because he's assuming that player blue will continue on the path of travel down the wall, and that would actually allow him to roll out of the hit. And then when he does get hit, even when he shouldn't, he actually does have the presence of mind to get his hands up. So I don't know what more you could ask of this player here. He tries to roll out of the hit, and when the hit comes anyway, He puts his hands up and braces for impact. I don't know how much more you could protect yourself than that. So I stand by my original assessment of this play. The onus is on player in blue to make this hit safely, and he did things to create avoidable danger in the process of making this hit. And the result of that was a check from behind, which resulted in a violent impact with his opponent into the boards. This is clearly a boarding penalty to me. As for player white, I don't think he turned his back because his back was never not exposed to begin with. It was always exposed. So he didn't turn his back. He was just in a vulnerable position and did everything he could to protect himself.